Thrive podcast with Rick Vaza. We are going to be diving in again today to another franchise. We're going to be talking about assisted living locators. Assisted living locators is a pretty interesting concept, and in fact, it's one of the ones I get asked about the most since becoming a franchise consultant. And I think because it checks a lot of very favorable boxes that has people really intrigued about the concept. It's been around for a while, so it's not new, but naturally, as you can imagine, because of the continuous that we hear about the aging population, there's a lot of demand for these types of services. So I want to dig into the brand a little bit, share some information, and some of the reasons that so many people seem to be attracted to it and exploring the opportunity in their franchise network. So first and foremost, this is just the general website of assisted living locators. It kind of gives you a pretty obvious what they do, I think, just based on the name itself. But they help seniors who are aging get into proper care networks. And it's really interesting because the model is actually similar to what I do as a consultant, where they don't have to charge the customer themselves. They get paid by the service provider. So it's really nice because a lot of the franchisees, when you hear why they love it and why they really enjoy what they do, they're just taking care of an aging population, people who they really want to support, and they don't have to charge those people directly. So they're able to work with them on a consulting basis, complimentary, and then as they help them find the appropriate resources and services that they need, they make a placement fee once that comes through. So it's really, really cool. Very, very, actually the same model as what I'm doing as a franchise consultant, but they're helping seniors who need services as opposed to me who helps prospective franchisees find the right franchisor. So really, really cool from that standpoint. As I mentioned, so they've been around since, or they've been franchising since 2006. So also, even though this is a, not recent phenomenon, but a phenomenon that's been going on for a while with our aging population, they're really dialed in. They've been doing this for a while, and they have a great leadership team who knows exactly what's going on and what it takes to be successful. It's also, I think, typically been favored from prospective franchisees because it has a fairly low investment cost to get in. So it is a home-based business, which obviously a lot of people are really interested in right now. It gives a lot of flexibility, allows them to control their hours, still be home with the family, raise the kids. It's a lot of the really attractive aspects of work from home situation that people really enjoy, and that makes that upfront cost a lot more attractive. So the franchise fee itself is $49,500, and then there's a typical investment range that they state on their FDD, which I'll pull up here in a moment to show. But you're typically in like the $60,000 to $75,000 range as a startup cost, which makes it a much lower barrier to entry for most people who are exploring franchising. Royalties, they have a pretty interesting setup on like a sliding scale royalty that actually starts up after a little bit of grace period in the beginning, which is awesome. They want you to succeed and get your feet under you before charging that royalty, which is nice. So they do have an 8% royalty, and then there's some minimum fees if that isn't hit that are part of their process, as well as an advertising fee, which is very common across the network of 2%. So typically you're looking at around 10% of royalties, which is in line with many different brands. And they obviously, with that royalty comes a pretty extensive support network. As I mentioned, they've been doing this for a long time. So they have it pretty dialed in as far as the onboarding process goes, making sure that consultants are getting set up for success. And what's really nice is they tout it, and a lot of their franchisees will agree with this, is you don't need senior living background to be successful. So they give you the training and the tools to come in. I think typically you're seeing someone who has a sales background or really just enjoys relationship building and a phone-based role in particular. Networking, that type of thing, is the candidate who tends to have a lot of high probability of success in this type of role. So really, really interesting model. They do, as I said, been around since 2006, so they have all of their FDD information with quite a long track record of history. I just jumped right down to the item 19, which should obviously be information you'd want to explore with the franchisor. You can reach out to me first. I'll check to see if your territory is available, and then if you want to take it from there, we'll make an introduction to the right point of contact for you. But this is really helpful. You can see they have 75 franchisees based on their last FDD disclosure, with revenue information ranging from the highest in their portfolio to median and average information as well, which was really, really helpful. And of course, you could dig in there further, but because it's a home-based role, and obviously from a consulting aspect, pretty meaningful revenue projections based on that, with the ability to really control your own schedule and make what you want of this. So I understand why a lot of people are really attracted to it, and I keep getting people reaching out to learn more. Tailwinds of the industry, fairly low startup costs, a lot of support, a brand, that has good brand recognition and has been at this a while, obviously has things dialed in with some pretty good, pretty solid earning potential along the way. So really, really interesting concept. Typically, you're going to see that investment range from anywhere from what they tout on their FTD is $75,000 to $95,000 all in. So again, very attractive, comparable to many different franchises as an initial startup cost go. If you'd like to learn more, go ahead and feel free to reach out. All the information's here in the show notes. I'd be more than happy to talk with you and see if it's the right investment opportunity for you. Thank you, and hope you enjoyed this and it was helpful.